Bring in Whip John Barrasso of Wyoming to tell us where things stand right now. Senator, what can you tell us about what's going down on the House floor, sir?
Well, the shutdown continues. 2/3 of Americans say open the government, do a continuing resolution, and then get back to discussing things. But what this shows is that Democrats are completely owned by the far left wing of their party. They're calling the shots. Their hatred of President Trump is astonishing, and they're wanting to hurt President Trump. Instead, they're hurting hardworking American families. They're hurting our veterans and certainly our soldiers who aren't going to get paychecks. They're hurting the program for women, infants, and children, which runs out of money this week. The demands are excessive. They're extensive. They're not going to be paid. All we're saying is, look, let's do a 7-week clean continuing resolution, keep the government open, have lots of discussions at that time, do the appropriations bills, which is what the members of the committee say that's the amount of time that they need to get all of that done. But what's happened is the Democrat leadership, and Chuck Schumer, who's afraid of his shadow right now, has turned over the reins of the party to Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Elizabeth Warren. So that's what we're dealing with, and the government remains shut.
I interviewed your Democratic colleague in the Senate, Peter Welch, yesterday. He talked about this timing problem that's inherent in the CR. I want you to take a listen to him, sir. We'll get your reaction.
Sure.
The dilemma we have is that this continuing resolution extends until November 21st. The drop-dead date for those families in Oklahoma and those families in Vermont about whether they will or won't be able to continue to have health care is November 1st. So there's a calendar-imposed crunch.
What do you say to that, sir?
Well, the date was chosen by the Republican and Democrat who lead the Appropriations Committee, and they said that's what they need to do all the appropriations process. The Democrats are really hammered by October 18th. That's when they have their No Kings March in Washington, D.C. And these Democrats in the Senate, people that would vote for a continuing resolution, they are so scared of the Democrat far left wing that are coming to town that day that I don't see this actually ending until after that march is over. Look, the Democrats, let's look at the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats right now. This blind hatred of President Trump has caused them to shut down the government. What have Republicans done? We've shut down the southern border. We've shut down the Democrats' efforts to, the Democrats' effort to raise taxes by $4 trillion. People want the government open. We can discuss other things later. They want the troops to be paid. People want safe, secure, prosperous America. They want affordable prices. I was in the White House on Friday talking with President Trump, and the president clearly understands that he has an opportunity as well as an obligation to deal with this government, which spends too much. It's too large. And to see the Democrats keeping the government shut down and turning over the purse strings of our government to President Trump, it's astonishing. I mean, that's how much their blind hatred is of the president. They just hate the fact that he won, and they hate the fact that he's successful.
Sir, real quickly, I want to make sure I get your reaction to this. You serve on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. The president said a short while ago that these peace negotiations that are underway in Cairo over the future of Gaza and hostages in Hamas captivity are actually much broader. He started talking about Iran's nuclear program. He started talking about other regional challenges and seemed to be saying, you guys are missing the forest for the trees here. This is all much bigger than you realize. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm very happy what the president's done. My hat is off to him in terms of what he's done with Hamas and with Gaza. It's been 2 years tomorrow since the attack. Hamas is a terrorist organization. There is blood on their hands. And what the president is aiming for is a release of all the hostages, then humanitarian aid, and an enforceable peace between Israel and Hamas. That's what we need to have there. And yeah, I think that comes together. Then we have much broader peace in the Middle East. And the president is a peacemaker here. And I think if this all comes together, the Nobel Prize would be in order.
All right, Senator Barrasso, thank you for taking time with us tonight to lay it all out for us. Always informative to talk with you.
Thanks, Gillian.
Thanks, sir.